Hey, we're back from our break. Also, you want to know the really stupid thing?
Yeah.
This is not me criticizing the game. This is just like, we were stupid for not immediately realizing this.
Okay.
And it actually occurred to me during our break. You know what the username and password is?
What?
Kurashiki Jumpy Doll.
What?
Her name is the fucking username. Because it's literally the username.
Oh.
It's her literal username is Kurashiki.
Okay.
Oh my god, there's so many flashes. Oh, those are the new ones we didn't have last time or something?
I guess, yeah.
Whoa. So type it in. Oh, wait, can you type it in? Type it in with the mouse. It's easier than me doing it.
How do you spell it?
K-U-R-A Shiki. Gotta teach Andrew how to type in fucking Japanese names. Jumpy Doll.
What was that?
How did you spell Jumpy Doll?
The right way. Jumpy Doll. Let me try a different way.
What's up?
Let me try a different way.
Well, now I'm worried whether we're supposed to be here or not.
There's no other routes to take! We're out of routes! We can't even go down the other route.
I'm worried that we might be fucking up.
Are we? Check the fucking flow.
Is there somewhere we can read, like, the intended direct order to play stuff in or something?
I don't know.
We might be cheating.
I mean, this person says, like, literally, the reason I found this is because someone says, all my routes are unlocked. I have nothing else to view. It won't take any of these ID and passwords that I have. Just tell me what to type. So, like,
fuck.
You can try that route. We can go down this really long one and see what happens.
I don't think we got that. Do you remember getting that?
That's what I'm saying. I remember Machiavelli. We had that. We got the Milcalvoli thing.
Do you think we have every bomb yet?
No, we don't have every bomb.
We don't have every bomb.
But I mean, we have some time. I don't know.
This would be so greatly simplified by our goddamn protagonist remembering the passwords for us, because he remembered other shit.
Yeah.
And then randomly stopped doing that. So now I don't know which thing. Now I don't know which stuff we know.
So, in case you guys weren't aware, that was a complaint of the game.
God damn it.
We can change.
Like they won't
Pray. But that's the thing. I don't remember.
They're not anywhere in here, right?
No. Wait, go to.
I hate this.
Yeah.
I just want to know what information we have so far, because none of the bombs are in our files, right?
No. We do not have the bomb passwords in our files.
So we just found out.
Go to pass.
By the way, you were supposed to write them all down.
Go to pass.
No, this is only the safes. It's always just the safes.
This is the stupidest fucking.
God damn it.
Okay.
Can I might have to Google like route order, like what.
Yeah.
Route. I don't know.
Let's see.
Or we have to like see if somebody is the expert in. If we have an expert on this game in the Discord right now.
Here.
Because I haven't been writing them down because Sigma has a photographic memory. And he has literally repeated passwords from other timelines before and then just stopped.
Okay, so here it is. Here is the here you go, Keith. What is the best route order? It is Clover, Quark, Tenmyoji, Luna, DOK, Alice, Sigma, Quark, Luna, Phi.
So we must have it. I don't know. Sorry, everyone at home, if we're doing this wrong. I can't tell. Because the game just has a different way of progressing suddenly.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're not just using the locks they used for the rest of the game. But like, I don't know if we ever got whatever the fuck those letters are. I don't remember.
I don't remember the ID.
Because we have I think we have a username and password, another username and password, and 4 bomb codes?
No, we only have 3 bomb codes.
No, I mean, like, that's the things in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Presumably. I assume there's 4 bomb codes. Because there's 4 bombs. Which means we have 10 things to remember. But in some timelines, Sigma just starts shouting numbers he heard in a different timeline, which sets up the idea that he'll just remember them for us. But I don't know.
That's the thing. I'm trying to look, and I just don't see any goddamn... Like, I don't see anything.
Okay, no. Oh, yeah, the Phi ending says it requires Quark's ending with the ID card and password.
So, yeah.
So Kirishiki and Jumpy Doll must be in the other ending in a computer we've never seen before, which you can imagine our confusion that finding out that it goes to a computer we've never seen before when it was already a computer in the game, but it's not the right one, I guess, or it goes somewhere else. I don't know. Fine, let's go. Okay. Sure. I'm just trying to be careful because we are looking shit up, which is not how you're supposed to play it. But also, why do I suddenly have to write shit down? Like, this is what, like episode like 150 of the Zero Escape franchise for us, and suddenly we had to write something down.
I mean, yeah.
Like long term.
You're not.
Because that never happened in 9 to 9, did it?
No.
We had to remember something from a different timeline because our characters did that, because that's the point. Otherwise, you can break the sequence by typing it in yourself. Like, they have to know why that's a bad idea, right? Because, like, it's a bad idea to make it so we can just do it, because then anyone who gets to that point will be like, well, the game, that's not how this game works, so I must have been supposed to have it, and then they'll look it up, and then they'll break the story.
I don't...
Alright, let's go.
Okay.
Captain Kidd was fun. You see that, right? Right above the dots.
Above the dots?
Captain Kidd was fun.
Captain Kidd was fun.
What the fuck? Like, it's a bunch of gibberish. Poked artifacts from the shipwreck, Will.
What? What? Public and raise awareness of soup. I love it. And then one is just like jow 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 jow. Like,
jow jow jow.
Beaufus. How much of this was like actually randomly typed, and how much of this was like purposely typed?
Nons, many of them still.
The largest exhibit of wow.
Not and at least 25 cans.
Okay, this is amazing.
There's so many little hidden phrases in this thing for some reason.
I think this is the original script.
This explains a lot. All right, we're gonna keep going, I guess. All right.
Phi, come over here.
God, I hate this room. I just remembered the dumb puzzles in this room.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Oh my god. I just realized.
Yeah.
Not only did they make us solve a puzzle, did they make us solve a puzzle to find the word help, which we could already tell was there before we solved the puzzle.
Okay.
But in in other timelines, we can see the word help in the timelines where we didn't do this room.
Yes, because it's already completed.
So we can already see the letter H and stuff.
I got in.
What?
Wait, isn't
How
this
did
the...
you figure out the login?
Does this version of Phi not know about the thing?
I don't know, Google. I just GameFAQs knew it. Like...
What the hell do you mean you just knew it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just knew it means I just knew it. You gave me the same line when I asked you how you knew my name.
Why are you bringing that up? It doesn't have anything to do with this.
It literally started the whole
It's
game.
literally the same thing. Yeah.
You sure? It might. It's called morphogenetic fields.
There's so many dots.
Look, just forget about that. Come take a look at this.
Fine. Just let me get right on that. Are you out of your damn mind? Tell me what the hell is going on here.
Okay, so I guess this version of Phi doesn't know about the morphogenic fields.
She does, but I think she's just being a fucking dumb annoyance.
No.
How did she figure out morphogenetic fields halfway through the goddamn time stream?
No, it's just, well, it's like River Song. We're meeting in out of order times.
So we're meeting her before she's aware of...
This version of Phi has not we get entire endings where we never realize that the morphogenic fields exist, even though we've done them in previous endings.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we
Sigma
do.
is a fucking idiot. The difference is...
No, I'm saying you can't. No. Yes, I'm completely
because
true.
we've established that there's no consistency in Sigma's memory on if he remembers shit. Because
but we're in different timelines, and in some timelines he finds morphogenic fields, and then other timelines we play afterwards, he will not discover them at all and then die.
I see. Well, I counter your
there
argument.
Are other timelines where Phi has them and then doesn't have them in different the same rules apply.
So I counter your argument with the fact that Phi, when he says that, when he's referring to that line she said, that line was literally spoken before any choices were made in the game. Meaning she started the fucking game with morphogenic fields.
But at that point she doesn't know that's why.
But then when
you're looking at me like it's insane. It's a completely reasonable thing.
Because then think about the path when she does remember it. The only thing that changes is that we betray Alice. That's the only difference. And then she suddenly is like, I know morphogenic fields. What the fuck? What happened? Who told you? Who spilled the beans? Because someone didn't spill the beans in 7 other timelines, but one timeline someone was like, morphogenic fields. And she was like, oh!
You don't have to know about morphogenic fields to use them.
No, but the point I'm saying is that she acted indignant as if somehow I should fucking be understanding about morphogenic fields, and when all we did differently was betray Alice.
I don't understand what your problem is this time.
The problem is because...
I don't understand what we're yelling about.
I'm yelling because she's acting like she doesn't know what's going on, but that's literally impossible because the only choice that we made differently in this timeline compared to the one where she knows it is that we betrayed Alice and her in the timeline she knows it. We didn't betray Alice, and
I agree with you that it's completely arbitrary, but we know it's completely arbitrary.
No, I know, but I'm saying
we know that there's timelines where they just magically encounter morphogenic field memories, and not timelines where they don't.
Yes, but the difference is that
here.
Sigma, throughout every timeline, still recalls the memories, even if he isn't sure why they happen. The difference here is that
he doesn't always recall them.
Well,
because we've been in several situations where it'd be real helpful if you remembered that thing that we already know about, and he just doesn't.
Yes, but the point I'm saying is that
any timeline they could just not have morphogenic fields happen. We know that, and this is what's happening.
Yeah, but then
is it this version of her?
No matter what time
or hasn't made sense of it.
But no matter how many times we do it, we never come to the conclusion that we're jumping through time or whatever the fuck she comes up with. She comes up with this crazy, ludicrous time jumping idea in only one timeline, and there's literally no reason she should come up with that because nothing changes that would allow her to come to that conclusion. That's the argument I'm having, is that there's no reason she would know.
We don't know why she came to that conclusion.
That's the point I'm saying. It's because...
Especially since that version of her that said that suddenly changed her behavior, indicating that she was getting this information from another timeline. So that's not even the version of her that came up with that information. Some other version of her from another timeline thought of that idea, and that's why this version of her is having it. The one that said that, I think that was the space one. She was getting that from a different version of herself, so we don't know which version of her came up with that idea. It might have been her from the true ending or something. Or some nonsense. Either way, none of the things you're saying contradict the fact that she could easily just not understand morphogenic fields in this timeline, which is what's happening. So I don't understand what the conflict is.
The conflict is, I'm saying I just don't see the correlation about where... I'm not seeing the correlation from how she jumped to the conclusion about morphogenic fields to suddenly being like super hyper suspicious about memory. And it's bothersome because I can't fucking delineate what goddamn time stream we're on and how fucking time works in this game. Like, that's the thing I'm frustrated about because I'm tired of people...
Yes, it is completely annoyingly random.
It's like, I can't gauge people's... it's hard to deal with people's hyper reactions to shit when, like, 30 seconds later and only one distinct decision later, someone's like, I'm fucking omnipresent and I know every goddamn ending. And it's like... you need to explain.
Was that the other branch of this ending? Because that was the Dio ending.
No.
That was way over here.
That wasn't the Dio ending.
Yeah, the Dio ending is the one when we're in space, right? The one where we're outside?
That's the one where we're outside.
Isn't that the one where she's like, Dad, you can jump through time and I need you to remember this code or we're all gonna die.
She says that, but the one where she literally changes her entire attitude and she gets indignant at us for not knowing about morphogenetic fields, is
what ending is that?
Excuse me, am I not allowed to go up? Okay. Is over here, where she has this,
That's the other side of the whole timeline.
No, I know, but we make one decision, this is it, this one decision right here. This one fucking decision to betray. I
think if anything, we're just highlighting that it's impossible to hold this whole flowchart in your brain. Because like it's just impossible to keep track of these pieces of information and which timeline they're from at some point.
That's my entire annoyance. Is that I'm getting frustrated because when people are reacting, I just can't place where this person is. Where are they? Are they like what is their experiences? What are the things that made them react this way to a situation?
Okay, but are we on the same page now that she just this Phi doesn't know the fields?
Yes,
that's why she's acting like this.
I'll concede that she doesn't know wasn't
that clear from the beginning? That by the way that she was asking about them?
I'm conceding that like it just doesn't have to make sense.
Is this just frustration boiling over and not really related to the scene at all?
It's the same frustration I had when people kept reacting the same way in 999 to like the door opening and they're like, we're gonna die. It's like, guys, just fucking do the thing. It's every door, every fucking door is the same thing.
Okay, well I'm gonna move on.
Yeah,
because this isn't even related to the scene we're looking at.
Into this computer?
Are you even listening to me? We continue to yell at one another for several more minutes.
Well, I guess we can't. I guess I'll just leave all of that in and not edit any of it out because it happened canonically too. It literally happened canonically. They yelled for several minutes in universe about this.
I really hope. I really fucking.
I love the idea of like the comments getting mad at your rant. In the comments, like, I can't believe Andrew's going on about this, and then the next line of dialogue is about how Phi and Sigma yelled about this for several minutes.
I'm really hoping that Sigma's defense was my defense, which is like, you dumb bitch, you remembered it in like this other timeline. How do you not remember this? And it's just like, but no matter what Phi asked me, I could never come up with an answer that satisfied her. Well, what satisfies Phi?
I gotta say, like, once again, I'm just so frustrated that this is not the game I hoped it would be, where they
what did you hope?
Well, that's where the sentence was gonna go if you didn't cut me off.
No,
where did you sentences
hope?
work?
Come on.
It's the same thing I've explained several times. You should already know what I mean, right? Do you not know where I'm going with this? That after 99, my frustration was I wanted the next game to be they start off learning about morphogenetic fields and then they use them on purpose. Yeah. Instead of the whole game being about rediscovering it. Especially where, like, it's really rough to have them rediscover it like 18 times, potentially, or maybe not, I don't know, until they finally have the true ending. And I'm like, I really hope, I desperately hope the next game they just know about them. Which they have to, because they're characters who know about it.
Except they're not, because Sigma and Phi don't learn about it till now.
Although we don't know, because even then we have the problem where, like, Clover's in this one, and she doesn't use them ever.
She doesn't even mention it until like you prod her for information.
She mentions it once in one time a little bit, I think, but she never uses them still,
well, that's what I'm saying. She mentions it when you prod her about her backstory, and then she's like, oh yeah, morphogenetic fields, and you're like, wait, excuse me? Like, this is
crazy that we have multiple characters that understand morphogenetic fields in this. Going into this game, they already understand it. And we still couldn't have that game I wanted.
There's technically two people that start the match knowing morphogenetic fields. We never played Zero Time Dilemma, so maybe Sigma and Phi should both fucking know about it. What happens?
All we know is that it's maybe a prequel, but we can't even tell that for sure without going into it. And obviously we're not going to go into spoilers.
I'm really hoping that
too closely.
I'm really hoping the true ending is all
we know is that at the very least Santa and Clover, and maybe if you count her, June, all knew about her.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that in the true ending, June is alive, and we end up getting to her, and like she just goes, how did none of you fucking idiots remember morphogenetic fields? Like,
I've been over this.
I literally was saved because of it. How the fuck did you forget that? You were all there.
You were all there.
Like, you were there, and you were there, and we picked you up on the side of the road, and you were there.
You were there a second later? I feel like somebody would have brought it up. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, right. Yeah, Alice also knows about morphogenetic fields because of so Alice, Santa, and Clover all know about morphogenetic fields. That's a third of the contestants.
It's like, I mean, you were there.
A third of the players go into it knowing about it, and we don't know. Some of the other ones ones might know about it too, and we just don't know yet.
True. Well, I know Quark doesn't know. I'm sure Dio doesn't know.
That is frustrating.
And I don't know what K knows because K doesn't know what K knows.
The next game is that.
Fine. You still don't make any sense, but I don't think you're lying.
I like that our dumb argument is canon.
Damn right I'm not.
The AB game deadline isn't getting any further away. All right.
I like how she just refused to. She just refused to look at the information for like several minutes.
Right.
Where are we supposed to start? Looks like there's tons of stuff in here.
No, Captain Kidd was fun. That's where we're starting. Yeah. All right. Because that's
regarding the estate, the largest exhibit of the.
Oh, can you tell me the ID that you put in? I can try searching for that. Maybe we'll get a hit.
I gave her what she'd asked for.
I want to point out that what we're seeing in that zoomed in view is exactly what's on that screen.
Yes.
So even on the screen, the text is just cut off.
Yeah.
Like it does on the left right side of the screen. It doesn't fit the screen.
It's just a wallpaper.
Yeah, that'd be the best reveal. This is their dumb like Matrix hacker wallpaper. It's not even a document. And we're like, let's look for this information that determines our life survival.
Have you ever done that?
What? Trick somebody into thinking like giving them like a screenshot of their desktop as a wallpaper.
Yeah.
No, but I've seen it in general.
I almost got suspended because of it. So I did that in Leone's class, but I did I made an error pop up, and so
made it not go away.
Well, no, I made it.
You made the error of their wallpaper.
No, so what I did was basically. So what I did was I made an error pop up, and then I made sure everything else was closed, and then what I did was I took a screenshot of the error, and then opened the screenshot in Paint, changed the error to say that when you like, because it was one of those errors that highlight that like grays out the no and only allows you to click yes.
Yeah.
And so I changed it to say like computer like, you know, critical system failure. You must press yes to reformat all machines on this system. And so they can only press yes, but then they can't press anything else. Like they try to press, you know, the my computer thing, but it's not going to work because it's a screenshot of the desktop. Yeah. So all they could press is yes. So the teacher got mad because she was like, she thought it was a legitimate.
I'm just seeing her worried, like, will I remember to make this a long episode or edit some of this out or what? Because we literally typed in a password and have done nothing else, and it's been half an hour.
Perfect.
This is a terrible. So I'm gonna people are gonna get mad at me.
Her search returned several files, and after examining them for a moment, Fi opened one. Golem unit details. Are these product specifications for a golem?
Looks like it.
Do we know what a golem is? So GTF-DM-L-016 is a golem ID?
Don't ask me. You seem to know more about all this than I do.
Yeah, I don't know if we know what a golem is in this timeline, or if he's just going off of, it literally says golem, so it must be something called a golem. I have no idea where Cockney Robot was in the spreadsheet, in the flowchart. Like, do you have any clue? I have no clue. It's
you could do it by checking out what escape rooms to go to in the flowchart.
Oops.
Pray.
Like, honestly, looking at this thing.
Yeah, just go up. Just go to check them. Green door or Golem Bay.
Oh, that was before here. That was Golem Bay right there. So we do know what a golem is.
Okay.
And then this one was security.
Oh.
Wasn't security the stupid staircase?
Yes, it was. Did the golem tell us the ID?
Maybe he did.
Oh, shit.
Maybe that's what it was from.
No,
that was like hour 10 of this playthrough. That was so long ago.
No, that's his ID.
Was it his ID?
That's the golem's ID.
Maybe.
I think
was so long ago. Yeah. It's no wonder we literally forgot we ever got it. That was an incredibly long time ago.
Why would it not just put it in the archives? Why do you have an archive
Why do they have this whole book notation system if they just decided to not use it? Like, why did they just decide...
How could Phi and K be saved?
Why did they just give up on the system for this one time?
I like how the book's gone, by the way.
It just encourages people to do it wrong. What book?
The lock.
There was never a lock here.
I thought there was.
We've had so many conversations. I can't believe we're having this conversation again. We've had so many conversations about how this specific part of the spreadsheet does not have...
Wait, there wasn't a lock. So we literally were just so dumb we didn't know the username and password, and it was like we could have just progressed if we wanted to?
No, because the password's from a different timeline. The password's from the K at... the Sigma ending.
Then why wasn't there a lock on there?
That's what I'm saying right now. That's literally the sentence I was just having when you cut me off. As I was talking about how that's the one time in the entire spreadsheet where mysteriously they don't use the black and green lock system and instead just expect you to, they just say username and password and expect you to type them in and just hope you remembered it from dozens of hours ago. Meanwhile, all these fucking commenters are like, it's meant to be a cell phone game. You pick it up in 5 minutes at a time. And as if you're going to remember that detail.
You do that?
When like that detail you could have encountered weeks ago and you're supposed to remember that and where it came from.
For preference, this whole
that was like the beginning of our entire playthrough.
This was literally like 40 hours ago. What do you want from me? I'm not a fucking genius.
Yeah, I don't know how they expect you to remember that information.
40 hours ago of information.
When the rest of the game, Sigma remembers shit from other timelines, and that's it. Because that's how this whole game's worked, and it's also how 999 works.
Not only that, he remembers the bomb password.
And they don't even have the fucking like presence of mind to put it in your files where you can read it.
Yeah.
So you could review your information. They have a whole system for filing away information you have so far, and they put a bunch of dumb shit like an Axelavir bottle and like dumb shit like that in there, but they don't put the vital information you need to proceed in the game in there.
I mean,
and they just hope you remembered it. And the problem with this whole approach is it encourages people to be stuck in a situation. Because right now we have 0 black locks in the entire game, Andrew.
Yes.
So we have 2 different paths where both of them just require information, and they just require us to, 1, remember the information and write it down, or 2, remember which information we're supposed to have and look it up, which just leads to a situation where people are going to look up the wrong one and be like, I guess I found that somewhere, and then just type it in. Because they can't tell, right? No one could know. Like most people wouldn't be able to remember exactly which ones we definitely got before.
Yeah.
So they just as well might be like, yeah, I think I got all the bombs so far, and they'll just look up the bomb passwords and go forward in that timeline because they don't know which one's which. Like that's what would happen. And that's why it's a bad idea.
But like, why? But like, why? Why would you give information to the player, but then assume that the player...
Why would you record all information that's not important in the game, and also several parts that are vital to the game, and keep every password that you just got a second ago so you can re-enter it, but never keep these pieces of super important information so you can tell which ones you have?
But more specifically, I genuinely do not remember a line where Golem was like, hey, you need to remember this ID in case you want to log into a computer. Like...
I literally don't.
How is the player?
Literally don't know where this information came from, which is why I was like, no, I don't know. I don't think we have that, and I was trying to research. So which leads to us researching which ending we might be supposed to do next, which only increases the chance of us finding more spoilers, basically. So it's just a minefield of like, I don't know what links to click on to find out how to proceed to play the game.
Well, I was gonna save it until the final route, but like, nope, I'm calling it now. You can't complain anymore. Virtue's Last Reward is a bad game. Like this is the precipice of it.
It has so much.
This is clearly an oversight that is just like so easy to fix if you literally let a single normal human being play the game before it came out.
I'm shocked the game never was like, write this down, like just said that directly to the player.
Anything.
Because for some reason they mysteriously suddenly need you to write something down when they've never needed you to do that before.
The only excuse I can see is if someone was like, this is what the memo's for. You're supposed to write down the random stuff.
Which stuff are you supposed to write down?
Which stuff are you supposed to write down? It's a whole game of stray information, and suddenly that's the information you're supposed to write down? Like, I imagine there's players that like see that weird writing on the wall in that one cat in the lounge and like write that all down because maybe it'll be important later. And guess what? It's not. The weird random letters. Oh, we get 2 pages.
Woo, there might be more. Oh no, it's just 1 out of 2. You only get 2 pages for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay. You can write in 3 different colors. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really annoyed with that.
I'm trying not to be furious, but that's like, I cannot believe you gave us information and then didn't give us any indication that the information would, 1, be relevant later, and 2, would be easily searchable without having to literally go back to the goddamn.
We had an entire menu called passwords where you could record the password. Like, maybe they should have put it in there.
You know what?
So we could keep track.
I would have just
in this pick up and play game, you're supposed to be able to play 10 minutes at a time, and that's why it's so redundant with all its information.
How would you do this on a Vita? Like, seriously. If
Where do you write it?
You're sitting...
You just keep a notepad with your Vita all the time for the one password?
You're sitting... So, like, theoretically, you're sitting on the goddamn train in Tokyo trying to get to work and commute, And
Are you supposed to be paranoidly writing down everything that ever happens in this game?
Yeah.
Just so you can just for the one time it matters?
So you're sitting there with one hand on the Vita and the other hand writing stuff down as it shows up, and you're like, okay, keep going, keep going.
What is this player?
Keep going, keep
How
going.
do you magically know which information is the stuff to write down?
You don't. You look like a lunatic with having several sheets of paper with stuff on it.
That poor player wrote down that impossibly long string of numbers that Sigma just recounts that one time to Alice.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
And then that never mattered because Sigma just remembered it, because that's the same thing to do for this game's design, both so the player doesn't suffer and so they don't sequence break by trying to figure out whether they know this information or not.
Just read the file. Maybe it'll make more sense.
Thanks, Fi.
Wow, Fi is done with this shit.
Their responses are always perfect.
Oh! Wait, what? Luna's a robot! Wait, not only is Luna a robot, she is the golem with the Cockney accent?
No, she's not.
Isn't that is that the ID that the golem gave us?
I mean, what I mean is that they're all that. They all look like that robot. That doesn't mean that she's literally that exact robot. I think we were in the room with her when that happened or something. She definitely,
wait, were we in the room with her?
I don't know if she was in the room or not, but she can't literally be that robot. She was either in the room with us or she was in a different room with other people. She can't literally be the Cockney robot.
No, I think you're right. I think Luna was in the room with the Cockney robot.
She might have been, yeah.
How did she keep a straight face?
Because she's a robot. It's their specialty.
It makes sense.
Oh,
it's like a witch. You can't prove otherwise.
Luna was a robot the whole time. Spoilers.
She's still the best girl, and she's not even human.
Also, we were totally right about Arloa Robotics being why she's so passive and doesn't make any decisions.
God damn it.
I totally called that part.
Luna.
Yeah.
Why is there a picture of Luna in this file?
There's something written underneath it. It says, appearance after application of ABT.
How did you read that?
Artificial biological tissue.
Are my glasses bad?
They just made it blurry so you don't have to read it. Or so that you can't read it.
I was going to say, so I don't have to? I don't think this game does anything on my behalf.
I'm pretty sure the first symbol of that text is an open bracket. Or a closed bracket.
Yeah, it is a closed bracket.
It's like closed bracket faff.
Faff.
That's what it looks like.
Wow, that's a poor name for a robot.
ABT. Called it. Time for flashbacks.
It's a special artificial biological tissue, what's called ABT.
I miss this character. I really wish she was in the game more.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
When a golem's all new and shiny, they've got a nice suit of ABT over that metal skeleton. Makes us look right human, it does.
Makes us look right human.
I wish he was Zero's
skeleton.
I wish he was Zero Jr.
Even feels like real skin, with pores, a little bit of hair, and a few pimples, scars, and the like.
Such a fun accent. It just is fun.
I mean, yeah, it's better than the like. Hi guys, what are you doing?
I'm gonna take skin with pores, a little bit of hair, a few pimples and scars and the like.
Well, first of course, skin, pores, a little bit of hair, and a few pimples, pores, like that.
Neither of us are
Able to
close.
tell the real from the fake, even if it was right in front of you.
Even if it was right in front of you.
Right in the middle.
Also, you can tell that he's speaking too fast compared to how this game's dialogue normally works.
Yes.
Because he's finishing the lines before the text does.
I see. Luna was a golem, and DM-L-016 was her product ID.
I'm sorry. You could not accept for like 10 minutes straight that we knew the username and password, but instantly you're like, oh yeah, Luna's a robot. Easy.
Keith, I would like you to know that we do not currently have time to talk for 7 minutes about the fact that this game is poorly written.
I know, but like, just she instantly.
Yeah. That must have been what Golem was trying to tell us when he was stopped.
You know what it is, though? I get self-conscious about the fact that I see the timer. I'm like, oh fuck, we entered a password, and that's all that's happened so far.
But why? Why would Luna be in this game?
All right, sound
I
time.
don't know how autonomous she really is, but I find it hard to believe she would have come here of her own free will.
So you're saying she was sent here by Zero Senior?
Probably. Look. At the bottom of the screen, it shows her current status.
Currently operational. Executing special mission. You think her special mission is to participate in the game?
Probably.
So why did Zero Senior want a robot as a participant? You think maybe it was to supervise the rest of us? Maybe if something unexpected happened, she was supposed to correct it or something?
What if it was some kind of Voight-Kampf test?
A what?
It's from an old book. A test to see how human she was. Whether or not 8 people would be able to figure out she was a robot. That might almost explain the whole game, actually. Making us solve puzzles and play the AB game. All of those things could have been designed to give us a chance to see her true nature.
But none of that explains why it's a death game.
Yeah, I'm not really
A death game that's over in only 3 rounds or less. Usually only 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, that's how quickly it usually ends. That doesn't explain, like...
Also, there's never been a
single...
single...
spend a lot more time around the robot.
There's never been a single time that Luna escaped.
No. Because she's best girl.
So it's kind of like the Chinese room.
Or the Turing test. Or those other things I found on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Luna is the girl locked in the room. And the 8 of us are the people outside it.
That would not be a very good Chinese room test. I'll be honest with you.
It's fine.
Well, no, it should probably be like all of us in a room passing notes and we don't know which one Luna is because she's the robot and that's
the Chinese room's not a test.
Well, no, but
you're thinking of the Turing test.
I meant more the premise of the idea of like
they explain
8 people sitting in a room writing papers to one person in a room is like it doesn't seem like it
that's just how people work.
Yeah, but it just doesn't seem like it would.
The premise is that do you remember the premise of the Chinese room?
Yeah, the Chinese room is like the idea is that
it has so many automated it has so many responses pre-set up that you're just feeding it things and it's feeding it the fitting response to it.
Yes,
and
but you also have no idea. But wasn't there also the flip side of it where like the idea is that you sit in a room and you're translating the Chinese and then rewriting it in Chinese to send back?
That's their analog, is that the person in the Chinese room doesn't actually understand what it's saying.
Yeah.
Like it's not which is that in this case, it's more like the idea that like the robot's not really a person.
Okay.
It's just saying automated responses to stimulus. And the metaphorical example is like a person in in the room receiving messages and writing the response that based on like a book that says what to respond with. But it doesn't understand Chinese. Like that person doesn't understand Chinese. That's their metaphor for a robot that's just saying responses without actually feeling or understanding what it's doing.
At what point can you ever prove that either people talking to each other aren't robots?
You can't. That's the premise. That's the whole problem. That's the Data problem, is that you can literally watch all of Star Trek Next Generation and have like Data be your favorite character and stuff like that and still not really be sure if he's actually self-aware and alive, or just a really sophisticated response system that just keeps convincing people it's alive because it has a response for everything and it's convincing forever. Like, because it passes the Turing test and is a functioning Chinese room, but it still might just be just like a sophisticated algorithm and not,
is that not a question you can ask
as a person?
Can you not ask a machine if it's aware?
Yeah, you can. And it'll have an answer.
Will it?
It's not like there's a law saying it has to say one thing or the other.
No, but like, what?
Are you wondering if you can like trap it into a loop of like, oh man, I don't know if I'm real or not?
Yeah, like, can you?
That would still not prove it's a machine or not, because remember me, you, and Joe, and that fucking conversation we had after Tokyo Slum Fathers or whatever the fuck it's called. Was it Godfathers?
Yeah, Tokyo
Godfathers. The homeless people movie.
Yeah.
And you were having this weird philosophical concept where like, I don't know if anything's real or true and like stuff like that. Like, we got you into that loop and you're a person.
That's right. But yeah, but I didn't like,
even then it doesn't matter.
Like, I feel like a robot would just shut down though. Like they would just like wouldn't a paradox just
especially since the Chinese room premise is that it already has responses for everything and it's just saying them.
But that's what I'm saying.
So the fact that it's like it's not even processing the information, so you can't get into a logic loop because it's just saying, if they say this, I say this.
So you just
like, there's no logic loop to get it into. All of your statements are equally unconfusing as each other.
So if you gave it a paradox, it would counter the paradox?
Sure.
How would you?
All it has to do is say something.
What? No, it doesn't have to just say something.
When we're talking about Chinese room, we're talking about something that's not even actually alive or sentient or thinking. It's just matching phrases, basically.
Well, yeah, but the problem...
So it'll just have a thing it'll say to your paradox. Or it'll have a blanket statement for when it doesn't have anything to say. and it won't matter. You can't short it out or freak it out.
Can you just keep asking the same question? Because
Sure.
if it just keeps
it could just repeating itself.
But if it keeps repeating itself, that's not human. It would eventually get tired of repeating the same.
But that's the Turing test. The question of what
Make one test.
They're all different things. The question
God damn it.
The question of whether or not something is convincingly human is the Turing test or the Void-Kampf test. The Chinese room is just talking about is just a metaphor for the concept of something just having a bunch of prepared responses to something, and while being hollow inside, basically, like not actually understanding it or
I can relate.
or being sentient.
I know that.
Like the Chinese room is kind of the opposite in some ways. Well, it's not even really. It just is a metaphor.
Yeah, Chinese room doesn't feel like a very good
more,
use. Like, doesn't seem useful for anything except for like a flimsy explanation.
Well, that's like the Chinese room is not a test.
No, I know it's not a
it's
test.
It's literally just a metaphor.
saying it's not even it's not even good as a metaphor because like
it's perfectly good as a metaphor.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like you can just
I think you just don't understand it or something.
I just don't feel like
you seem confused by it, but I don't think it's confusing.
Because that's the thing is like in a Chinese room situation, I feel like
it's Schrodinger's cat in that it's just a metaphor meant to explain a phenomenon or a concept.
Yeah, it's just not.
In this case, it's just trying to explain the idea of somebody having prepared responses and it just being and the more sophisticated of a Chinese room it is, the more it might seem like a person or something, but ultimately it doesn't know what it's doing.
That's the thing is like, I guess
a calculator.
I'm looking at it.
A calculator's not aware, but it has all these responses to all the things that you put into it.
No, I'm aware. I get the general premise. The problem I'm saying is that like there has to be like I don't know what I'm looking at it more in the sense of I don't know what the design is for this machine. Like if I added a period at the end of the paradox, would it give me a different response if I put an exclamation point or a question mark? Like
maybe or maybe not.
And if it does,
how it's programmed.
But that's the thing. If it does, then how much can you manipulate the line until it no longer can give a reply because there's no predetermined reply for that reply?
I mean, you can there are real Chinese rooms. They're called all those chat bots that people do videos about and shit like that.
But they're very obvious to know they're not human.
Yeah.
Because they don't respond properly.
Yeah.
It's a piss poor example. Because I thought
it's not, because it's a thing that responds to your input with a response. That's all the Chinese room really is.
No, I know.
And the more convincing it gets is reliant on it just being way more sophisticated, which takes way more work.
I'm aware of that. The point I'm saying is like in the theory that that you are interacting with you are doing like in the theory that the metaphor for the Chinese room is taking place with this aforementioned very convincing machine or not, you don't know, but like the idea is I wonder, I'm just trying to look at it in the sense of I wonder at what point does the Chinese room become an impossible metaphor. Like there's no way that you can properly reply to a person without literally being a person, because people are so.
This seems to be an offspring of the other conversation we had, where you just think that once it's complicated enough, it can't not be human.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to say, because even humans don't have infinite complexity, and like can be stumped or confused by conversations, or have troubles communicating, which is half of our conversations about this stuff, is like not having trouble meshing with each other, and we're not fake.
Well, that's the thing, is that's my signifier for realizing someone is in fact a person, because I can't trip a machine because a machine's not willing to indulge my insanity. A machine will only give me a response based on what it has been told to respond with.
If anything, the problem with the Chinese room and how much it can convince you would be that it doesn't get sick of your shit, and then you're like, you must be a machine. You must not be real because I'm not frustrating you.
That's what I'm saying. Is that a person would normally? That's the exact thing I'm trying to say. Is that a person would have a tolerance limit, and that's how I would know.
Which goes to Luna, in that she's the only not insufferable character, which clearly means she's not real.
I can't argue with that. You got me.
Why does she have infinite patience and was always nice? Oh, she's a robot. That's the reveal.
I didn't want to believe it because, like, maybe I just want to have
When
hope.
I kept suggesting it as the reason why she doesn't vote.
Well, yeah, but like, I do want to hold out hope that maybe she's like the last possible bastion of like proof humanity isn't doomed.
Have you played the Turing test?
Yeah, I beat the Turing test.
Oh, did you read all those documents that explain in great detail people arguing about the Turing test and the Chinese room and all that other stuff?
I think so, yeah.
There's like a whole room of files about that stuff. Yeah.
I just remember the ending where I was like,
yeah, don't say that.
Yeah. I definitely was a little bit too quick to make a choice.
Oh.
It's just a possibility, right?
All what matters is if the person next to you does what a human ought. Looks like a person, acts like a person, and talks like a person, then it's probably a person.
Yeah, see, that's the hard part.
Except it's not, because Chinese room, woo!
Well, because it doesn't...
I like how that entire rant and back and forth was about a thing that wasn't said. Because the game never even mentioned Chinese room in the scene. And we just went on about that forever. Because didn't they only say Turing test?
No, I think
did they say Chinese?
Yeah,
oh,
she
did
said
they?
Chinese room, yeah.
Now I'm like questioning.
No.
Never mind, they did say it. Never mind. All right, at least we're not completely off topic.
When did you figure it out?
Oh, this is where the audience is most split. Is some of them are here for that, and some of them hate that when we do that.
That she was a golem, I mean.
Now.
What?
I didn't know until I saw this stuff.
You're lying. When I told you about what happened with Golem in the pantry, you said something about how this game might be sort of like the Chinese
I don't know
room.
why I said that. It just felt like it made sense.
No, we're about to have a 7-minute fucking fight about this. You cannot just say that.
Time to repeat the entire argument.
Like, I hate her. I hate Vi so much. She is such a hypocritical piece of shit.
I mean, the fact that she remembers this and the fact that this happened in this timeline definitely makes me like, oh god damn it, Fi, because it's like the part of Life is Strange Before the Storm where I'm like, god damn it, Chloe, what's wrong with you? Like, stop treating everyone like this. And then you meet her stepfather for the first time that episode, and he's like, look at everybody, I'm a misogynist. I'm like, you're not helping. God damn it. Like that's what just happened when she just remembered it. I'm like, no, she does remember the time where she mysteriously remembered shit, and she's just being insufferable now.
Yeah. Look, forget about that. See Luna's status?
What? Did we just check it? Yeah, it says the same thing it did a minute ago.
I'm sorry, our several-minute argument that happened off camera apparently didn't ever have Sigma say, Fi, remember when you remembered something weird earlier today? Besides my name?
No.
Like the Chinese room thing? God damn it.
Currently operational. Executing special mission. Whoa! Wait, what the hell? Luna's dead.
Robots die? She was only injected with muscle relaxant.
She just gets back up.
This is the one where she's dead in front of Alice.
Oh, she's dead in this timeline?
Yes. But she's not
This
dead.
stuff would be more impactful if I could tell what the fuck reality was.
This is exactly what I was asking about. Is that like, how did Luna die if she's a robot? Because theoretically, wouldn't she have just shut down because she failed her mission?
I don't know.
But apparently, she's just sleeping.
That or the main system could kill her. Like it killed the other guy.
Yeah, I don't think it killed him. I think it just took him out of the body.
Shorted him out or whatever.
No, I think it took him out of the body, right?
What, didn't he get like fried in that scene? Like it was like, like it was way more cinematic than like turning off. But I don't remember. I don't know, because it was 50 hours ago. It's almost like this is bloated to all hell.
All players, please. No.
Enter your votes or you're fucked.
Of course. Luna's the one who opened the AB gate.
That might not be the only thing she did. Look.
What do you mean?
What are the last 3 digits of her product ID?
016.
And where have we seen that before?
On a calendar? Oh. No.
Oh, the one time Clover was dead while handcuffed with Tenmyoji?
Yeah.
That was so long ago and never came up again.
Also, wait.
Did she kill them?
Wait, how do you remember this fight?
We were both doing... Wait, this might be a flashback to earlier? I don't know if they're dead this
No, they're not
timeline.
dead in
They're
this
not dead?
timeline. Because this would be the timeline where...
God, the storytelling in this game falls apart when it's spread across so many timelines that we don't even know which reality we're in anymore. Like, are we... I don't know if this is... We also don't have different...
Oop, it's gone, gravity. Oop.
So here's another thing. Here's something that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Give us one color of flashback when it's a flashback, and one color of flashback when it's a morphogenetic field alternate timeline memory. Then we could tell which one was which at least. Looking at this right now, because of how many timelines there are, I can't tell you if this is if they're remembering something that happened earlier or from a different timeline, which they're both remembering from a different timeline. Because that'd be a first time too. They've never done that before, where they both remember a different timeline together.
That's what I was asking.
Well, no, they did once.
Did they?
Our flip-flop vote was the only other time we've remembered.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because that was the premise of that. Except they broke that too, because Sigma didn't remember it in one of them. I'm like, God damn it. So Luna killed Clover and Tenmyoji? Oh my god.
We're saying it was Luna who handcuffed Clover and Tenmyoji.
But then why did Clover know Luna's product code?
We should go check her body. You remember where it is?
Oh, it is a memory.
It is a memory. They are dead. Okay.
See, it's impossible to remember, right?
Or no, I think they're talking about Luna's body.
Luna's body?
Yeah, because Luna's the one that's dead in the crew quarters. Allison or Clover and Tenmyoji died in the
if they go
infirmary.
Back, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is Luna not there? Oh.